Hey guys. Hey Jenny. When we get to the top 10 part, the presentation you created, did you want to share it from your computer or do you want me to?
I can share it from my computer.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I know we're competing with the band concert tonight, so. Leslie, you've got the right idea. You're outside. Yeah, awesome. We'll give everybody a few more minutes. Jenny, do we have enough for a quorum yet? Okay,
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes.
okay.
If you want to do that, I'll start streaming live on Facebook and we could take care of that. And while people are joining, we could take care of the.
Okay, yeah, we might as well.
give me 1 minute to get it going on Facebook.
Sure. Just let me know when it's all.
We're good to go.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Andrea Long. So thanks for joining us tonight on our freshman night, incoming freshman night. So we do have a little bit of PTA business to just sort of get through. This is our last official PTA meeting of the year. So we just have a couple of points to move through really quick. I think Jenny's going to keep adding some people as they come into the waiting room. We'll go ahead and do just a couple PTA business items that we need to do. And then we will go forward with our topic of the evening, which is the incoming freshman parent night, mainly a Q&A. We've got some experts here who have had their children at Seaholm for many, many years, multiple children, some of them. And we do have Mike Wicker from administration. Thanks for joining, Mike, and congratulations as well in order for you. And is there anybody else from the admin team, Mike, or just?
Tim Seabor asked Kyle to be at the band concert tonight, so I have a feeling
Yes.
he might be doing something very kind for her. And Miss Spryzak may be here. She had a family thing.
Yep.
So I was a little bit late. I was speed reading Green Eggs and Ham for my 4-year-old, but we got through the whole thing, so we're good.
Okay, perfect, good. So yeah, just we do have a couple of things. We had the e-board slate for the 2023-2024 school year. It's been up on the Seaholm website for more than 30 days, I think. So we just have to motion to approve the e-board slate that is posted on the website. So if I can get a motion to approve.
I motion to approve
Okay.
the proposed slate.
Second.
And everyone in favor?
Aye.
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 That's 4. Do we have 5?
We do. We have 6.
Okay, we're good then.
As long as- anyone opposed? Motion passes.
So the other thing we need to do, Jenny, we need to approve April minutes.
Yes,
that
the April
correct?
minutes were shared with all of the outgoing executive board members. Didn't get any changes from anyone, so I make a motion to approve the April meeting minutes.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Approve.
Aye.
Anyone
Aye.
opposed? Motion passes.
So I just did want to take a second before we get into the topic of the evening. We have quite a few PTA e-board members who are have seniors, so have given lots of years, hours, a lot of their time to the PTA, to all of the schools in the district. So just wanted to thank them. So Stephanie Showish, she is our outgoing PTA president. So thank you, Stephanie. Appreciate everything that you've done and given. We have Andy on the line. She also has a senior, so she is parting ways at the moment for Seaholm. She's passing her gavel on to Joe. Oh, I guess I should say this too. Stephanie's passing her gavel on to me for next year. Andy's passing on her gavel to Joe for next year as the social media marketing. We've got Leslie, who has given years and years and years as the treasurer. She's passing her gavel on to someone who hasn't quite been announced yet, but to be forthcoming soon, hopefully. Thank you, Leslie. And then we have Jenny, who is the outgoing secretary. She's handing things over to Elena. So appreciate all your time and years, Jenny. All of these wonderful ladies have seniors. We also have one, she's not here, but she has been on PTA for quite a while. She's also not joining us for next year, but that's Shannon. So she is moving on, but we appreciate all her time that she spent with the PTA. And I mentioned a few people, couple people I didn't mention are Sarah Muzzin. She's going to be joining us as our vice president. And volunteer coordinator is Amy Murray. I don't think she's on the line, but some might know her. She's very active with SOS and agreed to be on our e-board for next year. We've got our grants coordinator, Christina Cunningham, and our legislative chair, Michelle Moody. So that's your 2023-2024 e-board. And again, I just thank all the ladies this year who've given all your support.
Meredith has a senior too.
And guidance. Oh yeah, Meredith from grants. That's right. Is Meredith on? I'm sorry, Meredith.
I'm here. No worries.
Yeah,
It's all
I'm
good.
sorry, Meredith.
I'll still be around. I'm just rolling
Yeah.
off the PTA for now. I've got a freshman and a junior, so I'll be here for a
Yeah.
while if you need me.
I hear you. We will need you.
Thank you.
Yes, we will need you. So yeah, thanks to everybody. Just appreciate that. Wanted to add that in. We were going to do just a quick rundown. Thanks for joining, by the way. Appreciate this. This is always a fun meeting. We can kind of just relax a little bit and talk about what it's like to be a Seaholm student. And I remember I have a sophomore and a senior. So I definitely remember, when my son was incoming as a freshman, just thinking, oh my God, how is this going to work? What's this going to, middle school is one thing, but then high school is just a whole nother thing. So hopefully we can guide you. And I am going to put Mr. Wicker on the spot though. If you could talk a little bit about the schedule, like what the day looks like. So, and a little bit about XBlock for those
Sure.
incoming parents, because that's we'll touch on, why XBlock is important, but if you could just talk about more like the schedule of sort of what the day looks like for a typical Seaholm student.
Yeah, so we run kind of like an A and a B schedule. So our A schedule is our non-XBlock day. Traditionally, that takes place on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So that day starts at 7:30 and ends at 2:50. There are 5 classes. They're each 72 minutes long. And then there's a 40-minute lunch period tied to third hour. And there's an A lunch and a B lunch. So students, start class at 7:30. They have first hour, second hour, and then some of them, about half, will start with A lunch and then go to third hour, fourth hour, fifth hour, and the other half will go first hour, second hour, third hour, have B lunch, and then fourth and fifth hour. Our 9th and 10th graders have closed campus lunch, so most of them eat in the cafeteria. And we have a great cafeteria staff that, the kids enjoy down there. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have what we call XBlock. So XBlock runs from 7:30 to 8:20 on those days. It is an open study hall that students can come into. The library is open, the cafeteria is open, and all of our teachers are in the building. All our teachers arrive at by 7:30, many of them even earlier and on a given day. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, when we have XBlock, which is most Tuesdays and Thursdays, students can get there. The bus runs like normal. So if your student takes the bus runs like normal, and the teachers are available from 7:30 to 8:20 to meet with students. And then, 8:20 the bell rings, and then at 8:25 the second bell rings and class begins. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays are XBlock days. School starts at 8:25. So if your student isn't coming in to utilize XBlock, but I encourage them to. School doesn't start till 8:25, and the classes are about 10 minutes shorter. So instead of being 72 minutes, they're about 61. And they still have 5 class periods with that lunch period connected to third hour. There are some Tuesdays and Thursdays where we have no XBlock days on testing, or that first week of the trimester when there's not a lot of need. And that helps us recapture some minutes for the state that they need. But XBlock is a great resource. for students to either come in and work with teachers or come in and work with one another, or come in just to, I see kids, they come in during X block and they're sitting there, they're playing cards, or they have a Nintendo Switch and they're playing video games. I mean, it's a good experience for them to come and get to know each other and get that extra help academically that they may need.
Perfect. Thanks, Mike. So yeah, I do want to let everybody know that we're going to keep it open. Please feel free to raise your hand if you have a question. If anybody has questions, we don't have to save them all to the end. We'll be sort of checking the chat as we go along. One of the topics, like I wanted to pick some big hitters that we've talked about in the past. Our previous Vice President Shannon, she was kind of the organizer of this meeting. She got the idea from when her oldest went off to Kalamazoo College. They did sort of this incoming parent night where they had a Q&A session and they talked about these things like the schedule. And, you're probably thinking now, what's A and B lunch? What is that like? So that's usually tied to their 3rd hour teacher. I'm not sure if Mike said that or not, but once the kids know their schedule, and then there'll be a list that's at the beginning of the year. It's usually posted around school, and they'll be able to check that list and they'll be able to see, oh, I have, this teacher for 3rd hour and this teacher has A lunch, or I have this teacher for 3rd hour. I have this, I have this teacher, I have B lunch this term. So that's how that kind of works. Excused absences or getting out of class early. So I'm actually going to put a link in the chat. We do not have a call-in line for that. We use an email. And I'm going to post that in the chat right now to everyone. So this page actually has everything you need on it. It's the Seaholm attendance at birmingham.k12.mi.us. So basically, if you know your child's going to be absent for a day, you can go ahead and email that attendance line. If you have an appointment, you can also report that to that attendance line. If you have an appointment and are picking your child up, usually you can send a note in with your child. They turn it into the office and they can get a pass to leave early. Again, it's just so there's no interruption in class periods. The front office isn't going to be calling down to excuse your child at a certain time. So child comes into the front office, gives the note, and then they'll get a pass to be able to leave class early. And usually, I've heard both, but usually people pick up you'll hear Lincoln doors or pool doors. So Lincoln doors are that front entrance by Lincoln, and then pool doors are on the back side, like kind of by the big parking lot, basically. So usually kids are dismissed at Lincoln doors, usually for appointments. I've heard both though. Some people say they do both, but I always pick up at Lincoln doors. Does anybody want to touch on sports and clubs, or are we going to go through that in your top 10, Jenny? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, I'm taking notes at the same time. It doesn't matter if
Sorry.
somebody wants to talk about sports and clubs. Now I'll just breeze past it in the top 10.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mike.
I would say if Mr. Frank, our athletic director, was here, he would tell you that 75% of Seaholm students play one sport. We have many who play 3 sports, one every season, but 3/4 of our kids play one sport, one of the 3 seasons. There's a fall season, a winter season, and spring season. We have lots of clubs that fluctuates around 100 every year, and kids join clubs. And then when there's a club that students would like to try, we allow students to start new clubs. So if they have an interest, that there's an opportunity, if there's not a club like that we have kids start clubs every year.
Perfect. don't want to take away from everything in Jenny's top 10 because I know you have Make Me a Maple. I'm not sure. Are we getting any questions yet? If you guys have any questions, anything at all, ask anything. That's a good one. When are fall sports tryouts? So a lot of the fall sports teams actually have practice they start practice in August. And some teams even have captains practices before then. So the best way to find out that information is, again, the Seaholm website, and then go to athletics. And then there'll be a list of the fall, I don't know, it might still say the spring sports right now. But it should have a list of all of the fall sports, and then the coach's name and information will be there, and you can email that coach and find out what's happening this summer. Also a good, if you know what sport your child does want to play, other parents, if you happen to know other parents who have a child in that sport, they're usually a really good source of information as well. Did you have anything to add, Jenny?
Never hesitate to email Aaron Frank. He's our athletic director, about
Oh, yeah.
questions about coaches and seasons and things like that. Yeah, he has, he knows an up-to-date list of every coach for every sports team and things like tryouts and things like that. He's a great resource for any student or parent with questions about athletics.
And sometimes people ask about, athletics in high school don't always match up with the athletics, the seasons that were in middle school. So that's sometimes a little bit different. So, just make sure you check out which sports are when for high school. And Elena, that's a good point. So there is an activity fair where all of the clubs and all of the sports are presented in the gym, and students and parents also, your child will tell you don't need to go. But we've learned that parents should go, and you can even give your contact information if you want to, because the kids end up sort of walking around with their friends and signing up for clubs. But you can go there too. There are other parents that go, and it's nice to see all the offerings that Seaholm has. Like Mike said, there are a lot of offerings. So the sports and all of the clubs, as well as the honor societies and some of those types of things, are there at the activities fair as well. And it looks like that is May 26th this year from 6 to 8 p.m. So if you guys are wondering, like, what clubs can my future freshmen get involved in and maybe get them on a list early, you could always attend. It's open to anyone. We're just cruising through this. Any questions? What other, Jenny, can you think of anything else that we talked about other times?
Do you want me to just do the top 10 list and
I
see
think
if
so, because that might spur on
First
some
questions?
questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, can everybody see the screen? Yes. So this is just, I kind of created this a couple years ago when Shannon came up with this. At that point, it was excuse my family. Hey guys, I'm on the computer. Lex, sorry, I'm presenting. Thank you. I threw this together like a David Letterman. I'm dating myself, like a top 10 list on a scrap piece of paper, and it's just kind of evolved. So some things that just help you and help your freshmen. A couple we've already talked about. The activities fair is super. Definitely go with your child. Let them walk in and walk around with their friends. You do not have to walk with them, but you will be amazed. There's 65 tables, I think, of different things that are being presented, sports clubs. And tell them to sign up, but when they sign up, have them put their name and email and your name and email down. And it is not you are not signing in blood that you will do all the things that you sign up for. It is just getting you on the email distribution lists with the coaches or the sponsors so that you get that first email particularly for the sports that have captain's practices in the summer. Some of them start there and they're optional. You don't have to go, but your child, if they go, they make some friends. So when they walk in the door the first day of school, they've already got a little bit of a community. It's like my child ran cross country. And so my 8th grader who had 8th grade friends walked in freshman year and had friends that were sophomores and juniors and seniors that they had met in the summer running cross country. So next tip is to join that team or club, like convince them to try something maybe that they've never thought of doing before. As I said, one of my kids did cross country, another one did cross country and had not ever run like even around the block. And they went and made a great group of friends. So reach out to the coaches. If you don't hear something by mid-July, whatever, reach out. Or another great place, a tip on here is we have a really great parent Facebook community, and you can always drop a question there like, hey, this boy's started sport practices started. I haven't heard anything yet. And somebody will help you out and let you know what's going on. During the school year, once the school year starts, your child will have, Mike, you can help me out. This maybe is slightly outdated. They have an email and a Power School, an email, a Power School, and a Schoology. Does that cover?
Yes, but if they're coming from a BPS school, that should be, I think everything should stay the same. I think that the Schoology classes should just populate, and that their login credentials from Derby, BCS, or Berkshire should be the same when they get to Seaholm. I think, as far as I know, that should be true.
Okay. Just write it down at the beginning of the school year. And then it's a great habit to get into. They should be checking their email once a day. But if you like once a week, sit down with them and say, hey, let's look at your email. Let's look at your grades. It's just a really great habit for them to get into. If they haven't been doing it at middle school, it's time for them to start checking on their own. And college seems like a long way away. It goes really fast. And so these are training things, learning years to, they're starting to adult on their own at this point a little bit. This is a tip for your child when they start a new class each trimester. Tell them to look around and start a little group chat or a snap group or whatever the current method of communication within kids is in the moment, because their teachers will obviously answer their emails, but the teacher might not answer an email at 10:30 at night when they're worried about something that's baby due or a question. If they have a group chat with a couple kids in their class, they'll get a really quick answer about what's going on. And some classes even, for my daughter, like the entire class is in a group chat and they're all able to bounce like study things off each other or whatever. So tell them somebody has to be the one to take the initiative though, to like make one and at least find 2 or 3 other kids in each of their classes that can be a resource for them. The next thing is X block. Your child's definitely going to tell you that they can sleep in every X block. They're going to say, oh, I don't need to, I'm good. But X block is like the magic hour. So many people in the community pay for tutors, and you don't need to. 2 days a week, your child's teacher is there and will help them. Often it will be like one-on-one if nobody else shows up, particularly at the beginning of the semester. So send them in, and it is a great way to establish a relationship with a teacher. Not as a freshman, they're not looking to have a college letter recommendation yet, but the more teachers they get to know, the more connected they're going to feel at school. So X block is a great resource. This is my big plug. We have a Facebook group that's grown. If Andy's on there, are we over like 800 people on this Facebook group? It's large and it's very, very helpful. Andy Gorbatov set it up. We not only have one that's called the Seaholm High School PTA Facebook group, there's also one for each grade level. Main questions are answered in the main group. Like the senior year one is very active this year about all the different senior activities that are going on. So make sure you join both the main one and the one for your child's grade level. Go ahead, Andy.
Putting links in the chat for the groups.
Perfect. Do you want to say anything about them?
No, just that they're a great resource, and don't look at them as just a place to go find information that's already posted, but think of it as a place to ask questions. Just go there and ask questions, and somebody will either have an answer or will point you in the right direction to find an answer.
And feel free to answer a question. Somebody's asking what time something is, jump in and provide the answer for somebody. And thanks to Andy for setting that up. And I think Joe is taking that over already at this point. So there's if this presentation isn't up, there's literally on the Seaholm website, there is a social media page under the PTA with all of the links to all of these. The weekly e-news, when school starts, if you go a couple weeks and you haven't gotten an email from Seaholm, then somehow you've mysteriously been taken off the email, which happens on rare occasions to people. So if you're not getting at least a weekly email every Thursday from Seaholm, you can go to the website and you can subscribe because there's tons of information in there and you definitely don't want to miss what's going on. And Seaholm does a pretty good job of packing it all into that weekly e-news. It's kind of long to read, but if you read it, you will be in the know into what's going on. And Seaholm does a good job of not spamming you too often with a million emails a day. This one, again, this is my baby is a senior, the last of my kids. And so I'm going to, be a little nostalgic and tell you it goes so fast. But literally tonight on your computer after this, go in, start a document that says child's name, high school accomplishments. And just as they do things, write down that they went to this event and volunteered X numbers of hours on this date, or if they get an award at the end of the season banquet, write it down, because when you get to the end of your junior year and you have to start putting together your college application, you will not remember all those little pieces. There'll be little threads everywhere and you will be very, very grateful. Additionally, I think, Mike, do they still have to do community service for health? They don't have to for health, but they do have to if they're in NHS.
Yes, NHS has it, and we have lots of different awards that you can earn for your time served, but it is no longer a graduation requirement.
Okay, but yes, like you will need it junior and senior year if you're in NHS, and a lot of kids document their hours, and there are awards that would be helpful for them someday when they're applying to college. Actually, my last tip is tell them to make a list on their phone, because again, they're adulting. They can start keeping the list, but maybe as a backup, it's a good idea for you to keep it too. The Make Me a Maple Mentor program. I don't know, I'm still in the thunder here. Mike, you want to talk about this? You want me to give this a go? Okay. It's a fabulous way to have a friend and have a resource. It's juniors and seniors will reach out right before school starts. All the freshmen are invited they come for an orientation day right before school starts, and they will have a mentor for sure. I think they're in little mentor groups, kind of. They'll have 2 mentors and then a group of freshmen with them. But the trick to this is that you as the parent are going to get a phone call from that mentor. And so you have to assist in the process. So when you get that phone call, the best thing for you to do is to text the mentor back with your child's name and phone number, because then the mentor will start texting and calling your child directly. But you also have that number. So if you have a question, I've had my kids have been mentees and mentors, and you can definitely reach out to the mentor if you have a question or two yourself too. But it's something they do cramming in cocoa before finals. And there's a couple events. There's a tailgate at a football game that they all get invited to. And it's just another connection point to have them feel connected and feel like they have more people as part of their community and more people who are there to help them out. And then top 10, this is, and I kid you not, this is the best tip. You're going to think I'm a crazy
Jenny,
person.
real quick, there's also a big kickoff. There's a big kickoff for Make Me a Maple. And I'm sorry, you might have said it, but there is that big kickoff during the day in August before school starts.
But they'll get that emailed at the beginning of August to them?
Yes.
That information? Okay. And then this is my last tip, which seems kind of funny. Get off this call and literally go into your Amazon cart and buy yourself 2 pieces of foam core poster board, because your child is going to come to you at some point in the next 4 years and tell you that they have a presentation due the next day. It's going to be 10:30 at night. There's going to be no poster board left in the city of Birmingham because all the other kids in all of their classes have purchased it all up in a 15-mile zone. And so buy them, stick them in the back of your closet, and some point in the next 4 years, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, that PTA lady told me I was gonna need this piece of poster board. And so you can kind of silently thank me when that day comes. So, and that is really the end of our presentation, unless anybody has anything else.
I like that you said that PTA lady.
Yeah, the crazy PTA lady.
I did want to mention that you mentioned the other, I think it might have been last year, about emailing. And I remember you saying because they're adulting, right? We're starting to teach them to advocate for themselves. So when they do have to email that teacher about something, I remember you had that recommendation of go ahead and let them copy you, see what their skills are. obviously you step away little by little, but at first, have them copy you on that email that they sent to the teacher. So, it goes sent and, they're putting the verbiage properly and, just those little nudges, into advocating for themselves will help along the way. The teachers are really approachable at Seaholm, and I would give that as advice as well. We do have a question in the group chat. I want to thank you, Jenny. That was awesome. by the
I
way.
see that one. We can pass along that information. I don't know if Katie Fisher sets up the community service. Mike, can we let her know that 95% of the Derby students are out
Yeah.
of, I know that it's moved around in the past and.
Yeah,
even
we
the first week in
actually,
June.
once I saw that post, Delois and I and Kyle are talking about it right now. So
Right now,
we
okay.
will talk with our CSO and I'll talk with Marla over at Derby and we will, we'll try to find a date that works if that one doesn't work.
Thank you. What other questions do people have? We've got time. I scheduled till 8 o'clock for this meeting. So any questions? Hi,
I'm
Sarah.
going to chime in. Hi. Just a suggestion that I have that would have been helpful to me as a new parent coming into Seaholm would be to have that information sent out to the middle school so it can go out to the parents ahead of time. That top 10 is like your total resource for everything.
We just made that. So we can definitely put it on our Facebook page and we can kick it out to the middle school.
It's fabulous because Marla could send that out over at our school and they could send it out at Berkshire. And that's wonderful. That's your life right there for the parents.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah, Kelly said the same thing. Jenny, just sharing the top 10 with the.
I'll email that to both BCS and Derby tomorrow.
Perfect. Delois, hi, thanks for joining tonight. Did you have anything to add about what incoming freshman parents should know?
Definitely encourage your kids to stay on the email. There are so many things that come through email and the kids say, I didn't know, I didn't check my email. And a lot of times when, as an administrator, I'm on the fly and I don't want to call a kid out of class, I'll shoot them an email. And then 2 or 3 days later, they show up at my door saying, hey, I got this email from you. I'm like, that was a little time sensitive, honey, and you've kind of missed it. So we'll try to work it out. But if they can get in the habit of checking that email, tell them that for every one time they check Snapchat, they should check their email.
Can I ask one more question? This might not be the place to ask it, but I'm going to do it anyway. The other thing that's really helpful is the e-news that comes out weekly. So I wanted to forward that to my child so he could understand what was going on at Seaholm, but I was told that wasn't allowed to forward it to children. And I think that them seeing all that stuff on the e-news would be very helpful. So I don't know if there's a reason we don't do it or can't do it, but I think that could be something that could be helpful to the kids as well. Just a suggestion for future.
I think they get it.
They do get it.
Yeah, they get it in their email.
So they get a separate email.
They do. They get an email that has the same link to e-news in it.
Oh, okay. I was told no. So, okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I like to quiz my son when we get the email that there's a schedule change or something. I like to ask him, hey, do you know your schedule? And he'll say, oh, they haven't sent us anything yet. I said, maybe you should check your email. But I have stopped giving him the answers last year and I just clue him in that he needs to check because he has the answer. He just needs to find it.
That's a good tip. I think Jenny said it. It'll go really fast. I have a senior and a sophomore. I mean, I can't believe my son's a senior, but I also at the same time can't believe my daughter's a sophomore. So it does go incredibly fast. It's very enjoyable as well. And parents and students learn a lot along the way. Anybody else want to talk about anything? Put some shameless plugs in. Go ahead.
I just
Jenny.
have one. We missed it on the I just want to share a motion that we made, an electronic motion to put on the record. We approved 2 motions. One was $800 from the PTA to purchase tickets for the Chinese AP students to go on a field trip. And a second one that was on April 20th, and on April 21st, we had a motion, we approved $1,000 to be used to purchase all-night party tickets or prom tickets for students that requested financial aid.
Thanks, Jenny. There is a lot of PTA information on the website. So if you feel like as a parent, you know, you might have been involved at the elementary school level and it was a bit much. It was, you know, home, what are those, homeroom parents and all of that and all the parties and a lot. And so maybe you stepped back in middle school and maybe you're looking to get involved again. At the high school level, there are volunteer opportunities at registration. We need help in the media center, just passing out the textbooks and getting kids through registration. And then at the end of each trimester, there's that book exchange where they bring in their trimester 1 books and they check out their trimester 2 books. So there's opportunities to volunteer at school then. There's also each sports club or even the choir and the band and the orchestra, they have boosters and usually the parents run those committees. So there's a lot of opportunities for parent involvement. It just may look a little bit different than how it looked at the elementary and middle school. And then specific to PTA, all of our information is on the Seaholm website. So you'll get links to, if you go under family information and then click on, or families, like the families on the main page, and then click on PTA information, it'll have like our schedule of meetings for that year. It'll have the Zoom link. So you can go right there. It'll have our budget for the year. And it will have like our grant information is posted there. Our meeting minutes are posted there. We do live stream. Well, all this year we had Zoom meetings. I'm not sure what we'll do for next year yet. We haven't talked about that as a board, but we do have, we have been live streaming the meetings on Facebook, and then there's, they're posted on the YouTube. Are they posted on YouTube as well? Yes. So, there's lots of information out there. It's just being able to find it sometimes. So yeah, we have our grant information. You'll get an ask at the beginning of the year during registration. Registration is kind of a big deal too. Like you can purchase your yearbook at registration. There's usually a field day t-shirt that you purchase during registration. So that's a big thing for incoming freshmen as field day. I guess we didn't touch on that. But there's a lot of things that you can purchase at registration. And it's sort of all on one go. You can pay for your PTA dues. You can give any direct donations. Those direct donations for the PTA go directly to the teachers for the grants that they request throughout the year. Do we have anything? Do we have new questions that came in? Oh, yes. For those of us who just got onto the Zoom, will this be posted on the Seaholm site to watch it from the beginning? Yes. Yes, you can watch it from the beginning on, is the Facebook link the easiest way to watch it, the fastest?
The Facebook link is running right now. So you could, if you're a member of our Facebook group, you can literally go and restart it at the beginning and watch it right now. But I'll post tomorrow morning, I'll post this new meeting on YouTube. And I posted the link. It's on the Seaholm PTA page, is a link to our YouTube page. And so by tomorrow morning, one errand to run in the morning, but by 10 o'clock, it'll be posted and you can watch it then.
So maybe we want to talk a little bit about field day since we have a couple minutes. Sounds good. So basically for field day, so each class is separated into their grade level and they compete on a number of events. But it's not just the typical events that you would think of. There's pretty much something for everyone. There's a community service part of the week because field day is over a whole week, right, Mr. Wicker? usually like a whole.
So
sort of a week.
our community service portion is, you know, collecting cans for gleaners, and that is over the week. But besides that, the preparation for field day. So field day this year is Friday, October the 6th. And, you know, from the start of school through then, there will be activities after school almost every day for students to work. And as you were saying, it varies from the traditional athletic field events where you need to run fast and be coordinated to, you know, designing a t-shirt, designing a march, designing a banner, coming up with what we call the floor show, which is like a musical skit where the kids write the script and they sing songs. And there's something for every interest. And for kids that are just interested in showing up and cheering on their team during field day, there's that too.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. The freshmen usually team up with the juniors and the sophomores kind of team up with the seniors. They are in their individual grades, but they sort of cheer each other on. So that's a nice community building aspect of it. I did want to say that's another thing that your child will tell you that you don't need to attend, or that no parents attend, and they do. We do. Parents attend. So they have plenty of seating in the gym for us. And we all come in with our coffee because they start bright and early. I think they even start like, don't you guys even start like almost at 7, or the kids have to be there?
The kids need to be there. The
Okay.
freshman march starts at 8 a.m.
Okay, it does.
And then we also, field day is very student centered, and we try really hard to be student centered. But one of the things that all 4 classes have are what we call parent representatives, or parent reps for short. So these are men and women who are there after school to assist the kids. You know, sometimes that means driving to Michael's to buy paint. But a lot of times it's mostly just being there to help them problem solve and help them, you know, create a schedule and things like that. So the class of 27 will need some parent reps, and I know that we have.
Actually, think we have them.
We've already, look at that.
Yes,
the class of 27 is already ahead of the game.
Yes,
disregard my comment. PTA is wonderful.
Yes, we actually have our parent reps for 2027 already. So fabulous. Thank you.
And unless something changes for field day, I have a commitment, at least for now, for the faculty sponsor that will be working with the class. Will be one of Seaholm's newest teachers, Kelly Howe, who is a wonderful hire. We just hired her this year. She's a Seaholm alumni. She was heavily involved in field day for the 4 years that she was a student at Seaholm, and she has, at least in theory, agreed with me to be the class sponsor for next year for the class of 2027.
Are we getting closer to a calendar yet for next year?
Calendar is currently being negotiated between the teachers union and the school district. So
yep.
I would like to think that they are working they're getting closer every day, but I have not heard an update from either the union people at work or from Dean. So I don't have a better answer yet.
So Amy asked if homecoming is on, field day is October 6th. The homecoming dance is October 7th. Yeah. So the
homecoming football game will be Friday night the 6th.
Sometimes you might hear also of a homecoming t-shirt being sold. You know, it's up to you whether you don't have to buy it. Usually like it's either blackout theme or whiteout theme, or they do some other color. So you don't have to buy the t-shirt.
And that's different. Field day t-shirt and homecoming game t-shirt, not the same thing.
Not the same thing, yeah. And field day t-shirt you can buy during registration, and the homecoming t-shirt you can't. That's usually
we buy that through the school store.
Yep.
Right, and those homecoming shirts, I believe, aren't available until either the week before the week of homecoming. There's a gap of time there, and then they will make it known when they're available.
Yeah, that's a short turnaround.
Can I give one more plug for parent volunteering?
Yeah.
So obviously you can volunteer with the PTA, but there are a ton of other ways, like Andrea talked about, like the sports clubs. The sports and clubs will both have opportunities, particularly the sports will have a booster club. Some of like the football booster program is like an organization in and of themselves. It's very impressive. And there's a lot of ways to volunteer with the sports, but there's also a lot of ways to volunteer. We have something called, I don't know if you want to give First Fridays a plug.
Yeah.
First Fridays, we try to support our teachers with a couple different ways. Like First Fridays is a kind of a monthly, well, you wanna.
Yeah, it's just actually Sarah was my co-chair this
Okay.
year and she's taking it over next year. So we just, there's a sign up and parents give a donation, like it's usually suggested at $25. You can either Venmo or you can bring in a gift yourself and drop it off at the school or one of the co-chairs' houses, just whatever you're comfortable with. And then the first Friday of every month, as long as there's school, we go in and we pick out however many names that we have gifts for. And then the teachers, not just teachers, it's staff as well. So all the staff get to run down and pick out a gift. So, and it's just another way that we can show appreciation to the staff at Seaholm. But it's been really well received and we appreciate all the donations and it's been ongoing for quite a while there at Seaholm now. So,
And you've gotten
we
through all the teachers 2 years in a row, right? Or all the
we
staff.
did 2 years in a row. We've gotten through all the staff. So,
So
but yeah,
we also
so
do
that's
the,
one way.
Yeah, so we also do a monthly staff treats this year. And I think Chris Glazier is on here. She's taking that over next year. And we take treats in once a month and drop them off for the staff. And they've been very appreciative of that. You can also sponsor that. I think we set it at 150 this year. I'm whatever she'll set it for next year. And we filled our 9 volunteers that we needed that did that. And there's also a lot of ways, like I know that we post on Facebook all the time, like prom needed supplies. And there was some question about where they were going to get them. And I think we posted it on the Facebook page. And I think within about an hour and a half, like everything that they were looking for was filled up. So you're coming into a very supportive and grateful and generous community. And so like if nothing else, look forward to the fact that this is a really wonderful school to be a part of, from the staff to the kids to the families that are already there. Like you will find the support that you need in every corner that you turn to.
Hey, can I chime in on something? We've talked a lot about clubs and we've talked a lot about activities and athletics, but nobody's talked about the fine arts department and all the great activities that happen, whether it's from theater, being on stage or behind the scenes on stage, choir. We've got band. I think there's both, electric band and traditional instruments. My kids are work in the theater stuff, and that's kind of where I came through in high school. So it's a tremendous opportunity as well. If your kids have any interest in, any performance desires, there's plenty of room, whether it's vocal, whether it's instrumental, or whether it's theatrical. There's plenty of room, and the teachers are great. So by all means, be sure to reach out and check that out as well. That's my plug. Have at
Yeah,
it.
there's usually like a theatrical play, like more of an acting play in the fall, and then the musical is usually in the February. I guess it's not quite spring, but it's usually in February.
And then in the spring, last couple of years, we've been doing this one act festival. And the kids are working on it right now, where the kids write, they cast, they direct, and they act in short one act plays. So
yeah, this year it's exciting. We're having our first choir banquet. So we hadn't had one before, or it was maybe just for the kids, but this year we're having a banquet. Seniors get to give speeches. So it's pretty exciting, something new. Any questions we can answer for anyone? definitely don't want to keep everyone here if we don't have any questions. I just know that Mike and Delois do. Oh, I had one question. Do you guys still separate the grades? Like I know that you guys are changing, but usually the two vice principals take 2 grades. One takes 2 grades and the other takes the other 2 grades. So you'll kind of have a specific vice principal throughout the 4 years. You stay with the kids, right?
Yep. We stay with them. We loop all the way through. I think Mike told me I'm doing everybody next year, so we'll see how that works
Oh,
out.
okay. Yeah, no problem.
Every student and every parent would be so lucky to have Delois Spryzak as their assistant principal. Traditionally, I'm currently the 11th and 12th grade assistant principal. So next year I would have looped and been 9 and 12. Delois and I talked today about when we hire the new assistant principal, do we want to give them the 9th grade or not? So that, details of that will be available later, but yes, your child will be giving an assistant principal, and then ideally they stay with that assistant principal for 4 years.
I will give a shameless plug as well to the counseling department. Just real quick, they not only help your child with their schedules, obviously, but there is a full-time crisis counselor there, Cherie Wilson. But do not feel like you have to have a crisis to go talk to her. She's very approachable. She will talk to you about anything and everything. And yeah, she's a great resource to have if you're just having some parenting or family issues that you're not sure where to go to or how to maneuver. She's a great resource. So yeah, the counseling department is great. And all of the counselors are certified counselors as well. So they don't just do your kid's schedule. They can provide service as well if anybody needs to talk to anybody. But all the teachers, I mean, are great as well. They listen to my kids all the time.
Yeah, and Miss Wilson is our crisis and wellness. So you
Oh
don't
yeah,
have
crisis
to be
and
only in
wellness.
crisis to see her. She sees
important.
kids, if they are in crisis, that's her expertise, but she also sees kids for, any reason. And she does a really great job with all our kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're doing the mental health awareness week this week. So the counseling department is sponsoring games. They did lawn games in the courtyard yesterday. Today it was focusing on how music can help your mood. So it was wear your favorite band t-shirt. Tomorrow it's focusing on yoga and exercise. So kids are supposed to wear exercise wear to school. And yeah, I've got my my print shirt on. And I don't remember what Thursday and Friday are, but there are activities scheduled for those days as well.
Yeah, Friday is Maple Gear, and I forget, tomorrow is fitness, sporting gear, and I should know Thursday too. It's on the website, and we remind the kids each day. So tomorrow is, fitness, wellness, and then we'll announce for Thursday, or it's posted on the Seaholm website and on the counselor's Twitter page and the counselor's website.
And if you're looking for Seaholm swag, so obviously there are places in town to get that. The Varsity Shop and Bloomfield Sports are 2 places where you can get some Seaholm gear. But sometimes you may want to hold off on that, especially if your child is joining a club or a sport, because they will sometimes have to, or they'll want to buy that particular team or club's stuff, so that would be all I would have to say, because I remember buying something Seaholm and then it was like, oh, but mom, now I want a Seaholm cross country shirt. And it was like, oh, well, I just got you that shirt. And so, yeah, shirt after shirt after shirt, lots of shirts.
And if students are interested, we have a upcycling store at Seaholm called Bloom, where everything that students can go and they can pick things off the rack, and they're completely free. They just need to write a thank you note. So, if they're looking for specific Seaholm gear and they don't want to spend their hard-earned dollars on it, we do have an opportunity for students to both donate things that they are done with and then go and shop in the store if they're looking for something in particular.
Perfect way to end. Thank you, Mike. I forgot about Bloom. Okay, I think that with that, we will take our 5 minutes and can I have a motion to adjourn? And a second. I see Jenny and Sarah. Thank you. And Joe and everybody. So thanks, everybody. And you can reach out to us anytime. Take care.
Thanks. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. It's a wrap
18
on
years.
2023.
Peace out.
I did it.
Hey, Jenny, I got to talk to you about cross country.
Yeah.
My daughter's a cross country girl. I need to know the summer schedule and all that stuff.
So my Lexi, let me turn off the recording. Hang on one second.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Meredith.